Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkraiTV here, and I attempted a Pokemon Diamond Nuzlocke. Like the title of the video suggests, I'll only be using dark type Pokemons in this Nuzlocke. Although the dark type encounters in this game are pretty strong, they are not very varied, as 2 of the encounters have the same dual typing. 2 encounters with the same typing doesn't sound bad, but as there's an entirety of only 4 encounters available, the only bright side here is that at least we'll be strong against Fantina. The most challenging parts of this playthrough will be the fighting gym due to our poor typing, and the Pokemon League, as we won't even be able to make a full team of 6. The encounters available in this Nuzlocke are Skuntank, Punchcrow, Drapion, and Weavile. Yup, that's all there is to it. I mean, at least they look cool. The rules for this Nuzlocke are as follows. All fainted Pokemon must be permaboxed. There's no leveling past the gym leader's ace, and for the Elite 4, the level cap will be 63. In-game items are also not allowed. I must catch the first dark encounter in each route, and finally, dupes clause. I'll have more on these rules in the description down below. Quickly before we start, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. 98% of you watching aren't subscribed, it only takes a second and really helps out us smaller creators. Thanks guys, let's get started. I head to Lake Variety with Barry and find this random briefcase on the ground. We open it in hopes of finding a bunch of cash, but find these weird animals instead. I decide to go with Turtwig here, as that means our rival will go with Chimchar, whose eventual fighting typing will be super effective against my team of dark types. I decide to give Turtwig the name 387, and I'm sure my rival Twig will be happy about that. Before heading to the first gym, I quickly grab a quick claw just in case. Rock is up first here, and I'm sure you can already guess how this fight is gonna go. Geodude's up first, but he goes down to a Razor Leaf. This gym was made for 387. Onix goes down to 1 hit too. But let's see what Cranidos can do. He's actually pretty strong, but even he can't handle a Razor Leaf. And just like that, we've beat the first gym. Let's keep on going. 387 evolves into a Grotle on the way to Valley Windworks. There's no way Mars will stand a chance against him. Mars sends out Zubat first while I go for 387. Even though Zubat has Leech Life, which is super effective, she won't do much damage due to my high defense. For that reason, I set up with Curse here. I completely forget that Zubat has Toxic, so I realize I have to go for the takedown here. Luckily, 1 tackle is enough to take her out. Mars sends out Perugly next, who only has physical attacks, so my boosted defense should come in handy here. I end up nearly taking her out with Tackle, but her Citrus Berry heals her up. After another tackle, 387's poisoning nearly takes him out as he's left with 9 HP. Perugly will outspeed us here, so we gotta hope for the best. She goes for a feint attack, which only does 3 damage. We then manage to take her out with a tackle. That battle was too close for comfort. I need to focus more in the future. After taking a nice nighttime walk down Eterna Forest with Cheryl, I end up finding our first encounter, a Murkrow. His dual typing will surely come in handy against Gardenia. I name him Murky. His nature is relaxed, which not only means that he's a cool guy to hang around, but his defense is also increased while his speed is decreased. That nature definitely isn't amazing for this playthrough. Before challenging Gardenia, I run into this old lady in Eterna City. I've only played Platinum and Pearl before, so I don't know who she is, but she seems nice as she gives us the TM for cut. I completely forgot about how this gym looked in Diamond, as I'm so used to playing Platinum, but to be honest, I might like this layout more. Let's see what Gardenia can do. She leads with a Cherubi while I go for a Murky. Our typing is very advantageous here, and so Cherubi easily goes down. She sends out a Turtwig next, but he goes down to a Wing Attack too. Rosaraide's up last, and her being a final evolution allows her to tank a Wing Attack and do a whopping 6 damage with Grass Knot. Down she goes on the next turn. Nice try, that was a fun battle. I then head to the Galactic Building and I challenge Jupiter. I'm much higher leveled here, so I'm hoping for an easy battle. I lead with a Wing Attack against Zubat here, and I manage to take her out in 1 hit. Jupiter then sends out Skuntank. She's pretty tanky, so let's see how this goes. I lead with Wing Attack, while Skuntank ends up missing. After I land the next Wing Attack, her Citrus Berry heals her up, and she goes for a Smokescreen. This makes me miss on my next turn, and she goes for a Smokescreen yet again. I finally manage to hit a Wing Attack, and I take out Jupiter. I then get my first animal fighting sponsorship reward, a bike. This kind old man in Eterna City ends up giving me an Explorer Kit and offers to teach me how to use it. I decline his offer, and he opens up about how lonely he is. Okay fine, you can teach me. I then head to Route 206 and I find a Stunky under the cycling bridge. I catch her and I name her Lolo. She has a quiet nature which is fitting for a skunk whose damage is silent but deadly. This blue-haired man then runs into me and starts opening up about life. I thought my mom told me not to talk to strangers. Anyways, Twiggy then challenges me in Hearthome City. Let's see what his team can do. He leads with Starly while I go for Murky. My level advantage here easily lets me take him out in 1 hit. He sends out Weasel next, and he manages to survive a Wing Attack on next to no health. He barely scratches us, and then goes down to another Wing Attack. Now for his Monferno. Even with Murky's relaxed nature, he still outspeeds Monferno, who goes down to a Wing Attack. Now for his final Pokemon, a Roselia. He definitely has no chance here, and goes down to 1 hit. Nice try, Twig, maybe next time. Next up is the fighting gym. The next gym has the same level cap as this one, so I'm gonna have to go into this battle with an under-leveled Stunky. This gym is gonna be really tough. I go for a Screech here to lower Meditite's defense, and she hits a powerful Drain Punch. She then goes for a Detect to slow down her downfall. Maylene then switches out to Lucario for some reason, and I get a crit with Slash that barely scratched him. Lucario then nearly takes out Lolo with his Metal Claw, while I go for Screech to lower his defense. I then have to switch out to Murky here, as I can't afford any feints here. Lucario hits a Force Palm which does major damage. I then go for a Pluck with Murky to not only do insane damage due to his lower defense, but I also eat his Citrus Berry here. He actually goes down to one hit. Maylene sends out Machoke, who manages to tank a Pluck and then slows me down with Rock Tomb. I still manage to outspeed him though, and I knock him out. Last up is Meditite. She meditates while I take her out with a Pluck. We actually managed to beat her here without overleveling my whole team. The next gym is gonna be tough though. I find a Skorupi in the Great Marsh, and I catch him with my Safari Ball. I name him Venom, and he has a timid nature, increasing his speed but lowering his attack. I'd say that's pretty decent. Now for the fourth gym, Crasher Wake, who I have to attempt to take out with a Stunky and a Skorupi. I'm gonna have to apologize in advance for what I'm gonna attempt here. I'm gonna try to Toxic Stall with Protect and Double Team. I know it's not the most honorable thing to do, but I genuinely don't think I have any other chance at this gym. Let's see how it goes. I lead with Toxic while Gyarados confuses me instantly, and I hit myself in confusion. I then manage to hit, and I go for Protect. Gyarados hits me with Dragon Rage, but my Citrus Berry brings me back up. I keep on going with Double Teams, and he finally misses his Brine. I go for a Double Team here, while Wake goes for Super Potion. I then go for Protect, which allows for Toxic to nearly take him out. I go for one more Double Team, and Toxic finally takes him out. That was an okay start. Let's see what Wake's gonna do. He sends out Quagsire, and I go for Toxic. He manages to hit Slam right away. I go for Protect here, but it's not looking good for me. I go for a Double Team while he goes for Mud Sport. I then Protect, and I don't get hit. I Double Team again, while Quagsire lowers my defense. If I take one more hit here, I'm done for. I go for a Night Slash, and with the help of Toxic, I take out Quagsire. Now for Wake's ace, Floatzel. He goes for an Ice Fang right off the bat, but ends up missing. As per usual, I go for Toxic. I then Protect to let Toxic do more damage. He misses his Brine, and I go for a Night Slash, which ends up being a crit. And just like that, Floatzel goes down. We actually did it. I would have wanted to use Murky here, but I'm definitely not complaining. Good game, Wake. Twig then so rudely interrupts my game of tag with this galactic member, so I'll have to take him down here and teach him a lesson about disturbing. He leads with Starly while I go with Lolo. I have a huge level advantage here, so one Night Slash should take her out. Weasel's up next. Just like in an earlier battle, he survives with just a sliver of health, but goes down right after. Next up is Twig's Monferno. I switch up to Murky just to be safe. I go for a super effective Pluck here, and I nearly take him out with one hit. Once again, last up is Roselia. He doesn't stand a chance either. I hope you've learned your lesson here, Twig. I then keep on chasing this Team Galactic Grunt as we both try to reach our step goal of the day, until I finally wear him down and then take him down. Lolo then finally evolves into a Skuntank, and now I feel confident enough to face Fantina. Here we go. I challenge Fantina's Ghost types with my team of Dark types. Doesn't seem too threatening, does it? I lead with Murky against her Drifblim. I go for a feint attack here and nearly finish off her Drifblim as he goes for a not so powerful Gust. He goes down right after that to another feint attack, but not without dealing some serious damage. Miss Magius is up next, and she ends up being faster than Murky. She hits a Shadow Ball, leaving him at only 11 HP. Feint attack is strong enough to take her out though. Last up is Fantina's Gengar. I switch out to Lolo here to make sure we finish this battle with no deaths. Gengar does confuse us here though. Lolo goes for a Night Slash here, but ends up hitting herself. After we easily tank a Shadow Claw, Gengar nearly goes down to one more Night Slash. Fantina ends up healing up with a Hyper Potion, but goes down to one more Night Slash. There's only 3 gyms left to go. I then unexpectedly run into Twig in Canalave City, and we end up battling. His Starly has finally evolved into Staravia, so maybe he'll pose more of a threat now. I go for a Fly against him, and even though he goes with Double Team, I still manage to hit. I then go for a feint attack to make sure I take him out. Here starts my Fly montage. Heracross is up next, and I lead with Fly. To nobody's surprise, it ends up being a one-hit kill. Next up is a decently leveled Monferno. Let's see what he can do. I go for a Fly here, and once again, I get the one hit. Buizel is up now, and for the first time, Fly's enough as it takes him down in one shot. Last up is Roselia, and once again, it's a one shot with Fly. Keep on training, Twig. Now, I'll take on the 6th gym leader, Byron. My Dark types aren't very effective against his Steel types, but luckily, I have Lolo on my team to save the day. I go with Flamethrower against Bronzor, and this nearly takes him out. It also leaves him burned. Lolo also avoids a Hypnosis. Byron then heals up with a hyper potion, but I lower his health all the way back down, and then take him down right after. Byron then sends out Steelix, and as per usual, I go for another flamethrower. Even Steelix can handle it, as he's left on low health. The next one is easily enough to take him out. Now, for taking down Bastiodon. Buckle up, as this is gonna take a while. He really likes stalling for some reason. How about I tell you guys a fun fact? I've never actually played Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon before. I invested all my childhood points into Gens 3 to 5. If you guys have any video ideas you want to see me do, let me know in the comments down below. Oh hey, we finally took the win. Nice stall there, Bastiodon. I then find this big pile of fish and it got me wondering. Imagine they handed each grunt just one Magikarp. Maybe then they could pose a bit more of a threat. I'll not show these next galactic fights fully as they are really not a challenge to me, but I sweep through Saturn's team with ease, and Mars stands no chance against my Scun tank. I then find our fourth and final encounter on the way to Snowpoint City, a Sneasel. I name him Claw and he's a Rash, the nature I mean, which is pretty horrible as it raises special attack. I then feel prepared enough and I take on the 7th gym leader, Candace. For this battle, once again I start with Lolo, her flamethrower is just too good. As Snover is up first, flamethrower is easily enough to take her out. Candace then sends out Medicham and I follow suit with another flamethrower. She goes for a bulk up, but after getting hit by hail, she stands no chance to another flamethrower. Next up is her Sneasel, who is fast but isn't able to do much damage against Lolo here, and faces a quick demise after getting hit by flamethrower. Candace then sends out her ace, Abomasnow. Lolo manages to outspeed her here, and due to flamethrower's 4 times effectiveness, it's an easy one hit. Nice try, Candace. I then find Twig at Lake Aquity, and I'm ashamed that he even lost to Jupiter. You really need to try harder here, bud. I finally find a Dusk Stone at the Galactic HQ, and I use it to evolve Murky. I then sneak into Cyrus' office, and he challenges me to a battle. Murkrow is sent out first while I go with Murky. His pre-evolved enemy has no chance here and goes down to a Fly. Sneasel's up next, and even though he seems pretty frail, he managed to tank a Fly. It doesn't let him live much longer, but I respect him anyways. Last up is Golbat, and you can probably guess that I'll keep on going with Fly. The first one doesn't take him out, but the next one gets the win. Nice try, Cyrus. I then take on Mars, and I gotta say, I wish these battles would have been harder. Kadabra's first, and due to my large double advantage, I'm easily able to outspeed him and take him out. Next up is Bronzor, and even though it manages to tank a Night Slash, the second one takes it out. Toxicroak's up last, and one Fly is easily enough to take her out. Nice try. Okay fine, this playthrough I'll set the Guardians free. Just this time though. I then hit the Spear Pillar and find Dialga giving kids all around Sinnoh an epileptic attack. I'm then forced to work with Twig as Jupiter and Mars challenge me for the last time. It's an absolute sweep, maybe you did finally start training Twig. Now for the toughest battle so far, Cyrus. He sends out a Honchkrow while I lead with Lolo. I go for a Flamethrower while he goes with Embargo. Cyrus then heals up for some odd reason and I hit another Flamethrower. He then withdraws Honchkrow out of the blue and sends out Gyarados, who easily tanks a Flamethrower. I then switch to Honchkrow as he goes for a Giga Impact. I go for a Night Slash here as he has to recharge, and then I go for a Fly. I outspeed him and I easily take him out. Well played, Murky. Weavile's up next to Lolo as I don't want to lose Murky here. I easily tank a Brick Break and then go for Flamethrower, while his Night Slash barely hurts me. His Citrus Berry helps him out here, so I go with another Flamethrower. His Exeter nearly takes me out though. Lolo then goes down, but not without taking Weavile out with her ability Aftermath. You really did amazing, Lolo. Cyrus sends out a Honchkrow, and so do I. I go for a Fly here, and it's enough to take him out. Crobat's up last, and he goes for a Confuse Ray. I go for a Fly and snap out of Confusion. This nearly takes him out. I go for one more Fly, and I finish the battle off. Lolo faints here, but we still manage to win. I only have 3 team members left, let's see how this goes. I then battle Dialga and choose to lead with Claw. I go for an Avalanche and I'm left with 7 health. I switch out to Murky here as I easily tank a Metal Claw. I tank another one as I go for Nightshade. I tank one more Metal Claw, leaving me at 12 health, but I take Dialga out. Imagine I wiped here. I then take on Volkner and finally debut Venom. I go for a Crunch against Raichu and get paralyzed instantly. My Cherry Berry takes care of that though. One more Crunch takes Raichu out. Next up is his most feared electric type, an Ambipom. I go for a Crunch and take away half of Ambipom's health. I then get a low roll with Crunch and I leave him with a sliver of health. This allows for him to get healed back up with a hyper potion, forcing me to keep crunching him. This time, the second crunch is enough, and he goes down. Volkner then sends out his ace, Luxray. He manages to easily tank a crunch, but doesn't really manage to hurt me. Another crunch lowers his health down a lot, but his Citrus Berry heals him up. I go for a Poison Fang to not lower his health down too much, but it ends up poisoning him, so Volkner decides to heal up. I then get a crit with Crunch, which honestly just saves time here, as Luxray really isn't able to do a lot. He ends up missing a Thunder Fang and gets taken out. Now, for his last Pokemon, an Octillery. He goes for an Aurora Beam first, while I go for a Crunch. Octillery ends up missing, but I get paralyzed and I can't move. He then goes for a Charge Beam, while I once again get paralyzed. He luckily goes for a Bullet Seed, which really doesn't do much, but again, I can't move, so I have to switch out here. I go for Claw here, and I get hit by Charge Beam. I go for a Feint Attack, and get left at 15 health. I decide to switch out here just in case he does heal, but get hit by Charge Beam here. I barely survive with 15 health, but manage to pull a Fly Off and finish him off. Volkner is down, here we come a Leaf 4. Sneasel finally evolves as I find a Razor Claw, and I decide to take on Twig for the last time. He leads with Staraptor while I go for Venom here. I lead with a Rock Slide and I take him out in one hit. Snorlax is up next and I go with a Brick Break. He goes for a Body Slam but doesn't manage to do too much damage. I go for another one, get a high roll, and then easily take a Crunch. The next Brick Break doesn't end up taking him out, but Crunch once again doesn't do too much and he goes down right after. Twig sends out his Heracross next and I decide to go for a Cross Poison here. It ends up being a crit and it takes him out. I guess Twig really hadn't worked on his team after all. Floatzel's up next, so I decide to go for a Crunch. He doesn't do much damage with an Aqua Jet, so I go for a Cross Poison, which poisons him and nearly takes him out. One more Crunch is enough to finish the battle. Infernape's up next, so switch to Murky. I didn't realize how much Flamethrower would do, but I can't switch out anymore, so I decided to go for a Fly. Infernape then luckily goes for an Aerial Ace, and I take him out right after. That could have been bad. Only Roserade is left to go, so I naturally lead with Fly. He attacks first, and I nearly faint here, as poison damage leaves me on just 5 health. Fly then hits. This is easily enough, and just like that, we take out Twig for the last time. Thank you for being such a pushover. After making my preparations, I feel as ready as I'll ever be to take on the Elite Four. Without further ado, let's get started. Throughout the Elite Four, I won't be using any battle items of Venom, as I feel like he'll be important against Cynthia. For this reason, I give him an XP share to boost him up as much as possible. Aaron's up first, and I'm not too afraid of his team of bugs, as I have a metronome boosted Murky on my side. First up is his Dustox. I go for a Fly here, and I easily finish him off. He sends out his Vespiquen next, who tries to go for an attack order, but I outspeed him, and land the one-shot with Fly. He sends out Heracross next, who actually manages to outspeed me here, and does a bunch of damage. But as per usual, one Fly is enough for an easy takedown. Now for his ace, a Drapion. I try for the Fly here, but I get hit by Ice Fang, and I get frozen solid. I need to switch out here, so I go for Claw. I get hit by Cross Poison, but I handle it very well. I go for a Feint Attack to start off, but barely scratch him. I then go for Avalanche as I get hit by Next Scissor, and nearly get taken out. I switch to Venom here to finish the battle off. I go with an Earthquake, which is easily enough to take him down. Only Beauty flies up next, so I go for an Ice Fang. It's not enough to take him out, and Aaron heals up. This just slows down his eventual death though, and just like that, we get the win. Nice try, Aaron. I challenge Bertha next, and go with Murky against her team of ground types. I start off with Dark Pulse, while Quagsire goes for a double team. She then also protects, but it doesn't save her though, as one more Dark Pulse wins the fight. She sends out Sudowoodo next, who barely manages to tank a Dark Pulse, while she sets up with Sandstorm. She lends a Sucker Punch, but feints with the Dark Pulse. I mean, what was that little tree gonna do anyways? Golem is sent out next, and although her typing is scary, Dark Pulse still does boatloads of damage. After easily tanking a Brick Break, she goes down too. Bertha sends out Whiscash, and I go for a Dark Pulse. She then goes for a Rock Slide, leaving me alive by a sliver. She goes for a full restore right after which I go for another Dark Pulse. Last up is Bertha's Hippowdon. I switch out to Claw here, as I don't want to lose Murky, and luckily, he avoids a Stone Edge. I then decide to go for a super effective Avalanche here, and after tanking an Earthquake, the Avalanche is enough, and manages to take the win. 2 more members to go. Flint is up next, and what a hothead he is. Literally. He goes for a Rapidash, while I go for Murky. He goes for a Sunny Day, while I go for Fly. Rapidash ends up bouncing up, and completely outplays me here, as she ends up getting some damage in. I go for a Night Slash and do loads of damage. I go for another Night Slash, but for some reason he withdraws Rapidash and goes for an Ape who gets struck but tanks it well. I then go for a Fly after getting hit by Mach Punch and take him out in a single hit. Up next is Flint's Fire-type Steelix. He must have missed a memo or something. I lead with a Dark Pulse here while he starts off with a Fire Fang. After another Dark Pulse, Steelix keeps on going with Fire Fang, so I decide to finish him off with a Dark Pulse. Now that Rapidash is next who'd outspeed me here, I switch to Venom. I easily tank a Flare Blitz, and I finish him off with a super effective Earthquake. Lopunny is up next, so I go for a Brick Break and do some serious damage. I tank a Fire Punch with ease and finish the battle off with a Brick Break. Last up is Flint's most feared fire type, Drift Bloom. He manages to tank a Crunch due to his insane HP, but he ends up missing his Will-O-Wisp afterwards. He heals up with a full restore, but after a couple more crunches, his game is over. Only one more battle before the champion. It's looking strong so far, let's see what we can do. Now for Lucian's team of Psychic types. This really shouldn't be too much of a challenge. I lead with Claw here due to his insane speed, and I go for a Feint Attack. It's enough to take out Mr. Mime in one hit. Medicham's up next, and I go for Feint Attack. This does massive damage. He then goes for an Ice Punch, which really doesn't do too much, so I go for one more Feint Attack and get the win. Bronzor's up next, and due to his tankiness, Feint Attack really doesn't do too much. It lands a Stab Gyro Ball, and I have to switch out here. I decide to go with Murky, who will easily tank any shot that comes at him. Night Slash does some decent damage, but Bronzong's Citrus Berry heals it up. I keep on going with Night Slash while it sets up with Calm Mind. He once again goes for a Gyro Ball, but to no avail. After another Calm Mind, he goes for a full restore. I go for a Night Slash again and again, while it just keeps setting up. I eventually do get a high roll though, and the next hit takes it out. Now for Alakazam. I'm worried for Murky's safety here, so I switch out to Venom just in case. He easily tanks Alakazam's Focus Blast, and due to his low defense, Venom easily secures the win. For some reason, Lucian has a Giraffe Egg, but that's no issue as one Crunch takes the win. Nothing left but the champion. We made it this far, there's no going back now. Let's see what we can do. Here we come, Cynthia. I go with Murky against her Spiritomb, and I lead with Fly. It ends up doing great damage while Spiritomb goes for Embargo. One more Fly is easily enough to take her out. Cynthia then sends out Milotic, who leads with a heavy hitting Ice Beam which nearly takes Murky out. I land Fly, but go down to a Surf right after. You did well, Murky. I go with Venom next and decide to lead with a Crunch. It does great damage and I tank Milotic shot with ease. Gastrodon's up next, so I continue on with Crunch. It does half her health and also lowers her defense, which secures the knockoff for the next Crunch. Next up is the feared run-ending Garchomp. I outspeed her here and I go for an Ice Fang, which does great damage. The downside is that she has a Citrus Berry that heals her up. She goes with a Giga Impact for some reason, which lets Venom live with low health. One Ice Fang is not enough to kill, so she gets healed up here while I go for another Ice Fang. I go for Ice Fang again and I outspeed her, and this finishes her off. Not bad, Venom, not bad. Next up is Cynthia's Lucario. I go for an Earthquake which deals insane damage, after which I feint to a Dragon Pulse. You're insane, Venom. Thank you for everything. I then send out Claw, and as Cynthia heals up, I go for the most powerful physical fighting move I have, Rock Smash. It does decent damage, but also lowers his defense, which is enough to secure the kill with a second hit. Roserade is up last, let's see what she can do. I easily tank her Energy Ball, and I go with a super effective Avalanche here. It's enough to kill. We somehow end up beating the Pokemon League with just 3 Pokemon. This run was absolutely insane. I must admit, it was a lot of fun. I've actually never used the Pokemon I used in this run, so it was a fun challenge battling with them. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this run as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. I'll see you guys soon, peace out.